What's going on, guys? Welcome to another gameplay video. I hope you guys are enjoying the weekend, but staying safe. Obviously, this is Easter weekend, so for those of you celebrating, please make sure to do it safely. Enjoy the family time if you can get it, but we want to make sure everybody's staying safe during this time. So regardless, if you are stuck at home and you just got nothing to do, hopefully this video will give you something at least to watch while you're sitting back and relaxing. So the deck we're going to be trying today is the Rakdos Aristocrats deck. Excuse me. There's a few different versions of this. Some of them are in like things like Midnight Reaper, which this one does not. I would warrant that there's probably a lot of reason to play things like the Midnight Reaper, so that might be a better option. We'll see as we go through. I kind of wanted to start with this base and then move forward with maybe changing it along in the future. So really quick, we are going to go through this card or this deck list. We do have the full Cauldron Familiar combo. So we've got the Witch's Oven along with the Cauldron Familiar. If you don't know what this combo does, it essentially gives you a way to play the Cauldron Familiar, drain for 1, block, do whatever you need to do, sacrifice this to the Witch's Oven, which gives you a food, and then you can use that food to bring back the Cauldron Familiar. So essentially you get multiple sacrifices off of just one creature that you can continuously bring back. Excuse me. So very, very helpful combo for sure. Gutterbones plays a very similar role, though it does cost a little bit of mana. It is a 2-1 for 1, which is great value. Comes into play tapped, but you can bring it back from your graveyard with its 1 and a black ability. So it does have some utility there. Claim the Firstborn is an interesting include, and I think this is one that's been swapped out more for Midnight Reapers and things like that. But this does allow you to steal the opponent's creature and then ideally, sacrifice it to either a Witch's Oven or a Woe Strider or something along those lines. And very, very powerful in this deck for sure. It does have a lot of matchups where it's just not very good though, and that's kind of the hiccup with this card. Mire Triton, a great way to fill your graveyard. Good early game threat because it does have Death Touch. Gains you a couple life as well, so it does keep you alive against those aggro decks. Priest of Forgotten Gods, a way to sacrifice creatures, gain you some life, draw you cards. Or excuse me, not gain you some life, gain you some mana, and then draw you some cards. So very powerful again in tandem with this Claim the Firstborn or really any of our 1-drops. Rix Maadi Reveler is another card I think we could swap out for something like a Midnight Reaper, but it does play a similar role in that it draws you some cards, and so I do think there's a lot of utility here with this. Kroxa, obviously just a very powerful card. It gets cards out of the opponent's hand, hopefully deals some damage, and is just a really strong beater. We do fill the graveyard pretty quick, so ideally we're looking to play this from the graveyard for that escape cost and then have a 6/6 that sticks very, very quickly. So very powerful there. Woe Strider, not only does it come with a 0/1 white goat, which is amazing, but it is another sacrifice outlet, and it is another thing that you can play from the graveyard. So if it gets hit with like a Mire Triton or something like that, gets thrown into the graveyard, that's fine. You can bring it back. Mayhem Devil is really a backbone of the deck. It's one of the cards that does just tons and tons of utility for a deck like this. Dealing 1 damage every time you, or anybody technically sacrifices a permanent is amazing. Opposing Fabled Passages even start to cost life, which is really, really good. Tymaret Calls the Dead, a really nice card to fill your graveyard as well, get you a couple utility creatures out there, and then hopefully gain you some life, scry you a little bit. It's a very, very good card in this deck. As far as lands go, we're running 22, just below the normal 24. We do have Castle Locthwain as a way to draw a couple extra cards. We've got 2 of those. The 4 Blood Crypt, 4 Temple of Malice, and full 4 Fabled Passages. Again, they in tandem with, Mayhem Devil, they are very good. And then, of course, 4 and 4 on the Swamps and Mountains. So, again, this is a base start for this deck. It is not the base start for the deck. There are a lot of different flex slots with a deck like this. So, that being said, there are also quite a lot of slots that you really can't flex too much. You've got to have some of these in there. So I encourage you, check out a few different lists, see what you like, and then, we'll move forward with that. I plan to kind of relook at this deck at some point because I do think this is a very interesting one. A bit of a slow hand here. 2 lands is nice. I think I'm going to keep this, and we'll certainly try it. I'm a little speculative on a hand like this, but if we are against a creature deck, for instance, we can claim the Firstborn, steal their creature, and then ideally go ahead and sacrifice it to something like the Witch's Oven to get us started on the food route. Okay. So this is the enchantment deck, is my guess. We at the moment obviously don't have anything to enchant. I think I'm gonna let them. Well, given that next turn we're gonna be wanting to play some stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and do this now, and just sacrifice this. I should have done that earlier and attacked with it. That was a mistake. Should have thought through and not passed through the turn like that. Green black. I expect that they might be running some white as well, but I could be wrong. Ephemia is a very, very strong card, by the way. Go ahead and pay 2. I think we'll get the Mayhem Devil out here. If we do sacrifice something, we get the opportunity to shoot down Ephemia, so I certainly want to take that opportunity if we can. Do this here, so we do get to get rid of that Ephemia now. So that was, I was actually a little uncertain if that would work, solely because I didn't know if Mayhem Devil could ping off of itself, essentially. In that case, though, very, very good way to do that, so happy we did. Actually don't think we want the land. We've got essentially all the land that we could possibly need, so I'm certainly okay with that. Let's go ahead and get the Woe Strider out there, actually. It gives them 2 things, not 2 things to deal with necessarily, but it does mean that they obviously have to get rid of this Woe Strider pretty quickly, because we'll start to ping and sacrifice some stuff in a pretty nasty manner. They're going to take 4 there. Mire's Grasp. Okay. Let's go ahead and sacrifice here. I do kind of want to keep that against this deck, actually. And I'm going to go ahead and get our food. I'm building up the food as much as possible. These are all sacrifice hits, so they're definitely things that we want to have available to us. And this is a very good target for Claim, so I'm actually very happy we did that. Let's do this. Let's play the Tymaret Calls the Dead. Go ahead and exile that. And then let's go in here and steal that. Get in for a couple damage. And let's go ahead and sacrifice it. So we're finding ways to deal with all their creatures, which is great. Okay. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. That's kind of an interesting play, actually. I've not seen that card in a standard deck, I think, ever. I would happily trade off here if they had decided to do that. I'm just gonna ping them. I'll swing in here with the 2/2 and see what they want to do. If they decide they want to block, that's great. Go ahead and end the turn. We could have also sacrificed a food, certainly, to deal with that, and then just continue with that creature, but let's gain a couple life and deal a damage to them here. Priest. Let's do this first. Let's go ahead and attack in. Now let's get this Woe Strider out. So we need to escape 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get Woe Strider out. It's a tougher thing to deal with than the Priest. So Dead Weight, for instance, deals with the Priest. Mire's Grasp or Dead Weight doesn't deal with that. So that's actually, I think, a much stronger play. And this gives us another just free sacrifice outlet, which is very, very helpful because now we can start scrying with our sacrifices instead of just getting a food token. Food is very helpful, don't get me wrong, but and I'm going to keep that Mayhem Devil on top. And they lost. Cool. All right, so game 1 goes to us. You saw the power of that Mayhem Devil there. That really is the key card with this deck. Truly, truly a fantastic card. Having another one on top there just solidified as well that we would probably be able to pull that off pretty quickly. So we'll go ahead, get a game 2, and then hopefully a game 3 in. Please also, if you have not already, you can see just down below me, we've got our proxies for the month of April rotating down there. Those are all available to you now. If you go to our Patreon link, which is just below the gameplay, you can check that out. See which tier works for you. We certainly don't want to be asking for money straight up. We'd like to give something back to you guys, and that's where those proxies come in. And so if you're interested in picking any of those up, that is the way to do it. That's the only way to do it. We also have past proxies available to you if you're interested in picking up any of those. Whoops. You can certainly do that. Again, we have a specific tier for that, so you just got to kind of read through those if you're interested. I was going to say something else. Oh, we did get the proxies in already. So we went ahead and ordered, given the circumstances of everything. We didn't know if people would be working at our normal print shop and that kind of thing. So we wanted to make sure we got that in ahead of time, just so we could make sure to get as much time as possible between us and when we need to send them out. Thankfully, they already shipped them to us. They've taken care of the prints. We're all set. So we're ready to go for next month. And I'm really excited. These look very, very good. Armageddon is our unstable proxy, and it looks amazing. It looks absolutely beautiful. Obviously, the art, you can see it right there. That art is stunning, absolutely stunning. Credit to the artist, absolutely fantastic job. So thankful that we get the opportunity to kind of feature that. We certainly don't claim the art or anything like that. It's not ours. We just want to have something to give back to you guys for supporting us. So that's our way of doing it. So we do appreciate every patron we've got. They've really helped us do not only this gameplay, but tons of other stuff that we do. The podcast keeps going, all that kind of stuff, solely because of you guys. So we really do appreciate it. And interesting. So they're going to get rid of a card, Unmoored Ego, naming Witch's Oven. That's smart. Well done. That was a solid play for sure. Let's go ahead and get that out there. Certainly would not have seen Witch's Oven Unmoored Ego coming anytime soon, so that's very, very cool. I kind of don't want to exile either of these. I'm going to decline. Considering we know they have Unmoored Ego in their deck, I want to give ourselves as many chances as possible to get, like, they're going to have 2 Unmoored Egos to deal with the Woe Strider and the Kroxa, for instance. I'd rather make them have it, so to speak. I don't want to exile it in my own. Here, we will get rid of the Rix Maadi Reveler, though. Let's do this first. Let's go ahead and attack in. We're going to Fabled Passage. We will pull a mountain. Yeah, we'll pull a mountain here. We're going to Mire Triton. And we'll get a second Mire Triton out. This just really forces them to have a sweeper here. If they do sweep, we've got options. So I'm okay with kind of overcommitting a little bit here. Certainly don't want to go too crazy with that, but they definitely will need to have an answer. Hydroid Crisis is good. Doesn't necessarily get them around this, though. Ooh, Mayhem Devil, very good. Is it good enough, though? I think it might be. I'm going to keep that on top. I should have scribed. That was kind of a mistake, but that's okay. Okay. First things first. I'm going to attack with everything here. My guess is they're just going to block this token. That's fine. We're going to run out of time if we don't go ahead and try and get rid of everything that we can now. Get rid of land, 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 land. And do we have one more? Yes. Get rid of all of our lands to get Kroxa out here. And then we will... Well, we know Mayhem Devil's on top. So this again puts them in the position of they need a way to gain a good bit of life here or sweep. And even if they do sweep, we just get to replay Kroxa. So like, they're not in a great place. We'll certainly see what they can do. Woe Strider would have given us more protection, by the way, against a sweeper, just because we could sacrifice everything to scry. I don't really worry too much about that, solely because, again, we've got more than one backup option here, so I'm kind of okay with it. Mayhem Devil really doesn't help too much on this board, so maybe it was incorrect to actually put that on top, but we'll figure that out. Okay, so they're going to gain 3 and get a land probably onto the battlefield. Here, though, we do get to attack with this Kroxa as well as these other creatures here, so they're in a tough spot. I'm going to scry that to the bottom now. Let's go ahead and attack in. We're trying to get rid of every card in their hand that we can, obviously, just to limit their plays. Vraska's certainly a good one to get out of there. Can I... I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. We're overcommitting pretty heavily here, but we'll see. We do have the second Kroxa coming up here. Feeling okay about this, but I'm always a little unsettled against these Sultai decks. They've got lots and lots of options. And they're escaping Uro. Makes sense. If I do this, I can't. There we go. All right, we got it. We had the sacrifice there that we could literally just ping them, thanks to Mayhem Devil, so I'm actually really glad I put that on top. So that actually worked really, really well. Awesome. So we are 2 for 2 right now. We do have one more game. Let's go see if we can make this a 3-0. I really like this deck, I will say. I think we could switch out the Rix Maadi Reveler, but we haven't really gotten the opportunity to play with it much yet, so I don't want to make that call too early. Given that we truly don't know. So this is a keep. It's a bit of an odd keep, but we can turn 1 Gutterbones, and then depending on what they play, later on we'll probably pull something with a claim if they've got a creature that we can then sack to Woe Strider. As it stands now, okay, my guess is Azorius Control. Let's get that out there. We'll end the turn. Not sure what land we actually want to pull. Oh. Okay. That's interesting. Well, in that case, yeah, I'm just gonna swing in. Let's pull that. Ah, bad call. Okay. Let's go ahead and attack. If they want to block, it'd be great. Get that out there, and we'll pass. So this, we can claim this next turn, hopefully, and then be able to sack it to the Woe Strider, so we can get our scry and deal with, hopefully, their most powerful creature. We also have the opportunity, really, to double up on these. So I guess it was good we claimed that mountain, or Fabled Passage for the mountain. We'll see what they've got here. Heliod, yep. Interesting, they did not attack. Let's do that. I kind of don't think we want the Cauldron Familiar. I think we're looking for like a Kroxa or something along those lines. So let's steal this. We're going to swing in. Let's sacrifice this. We're leaving this goat around, by the way, mostly because if we get like a Mayhem Devil or something like that, we'd rather scry, sack it with the Mayhem Devil on the field. So we're leaving this around as long as we can. I'm really confused. I'm interested as to why they didn't attack. I assume they think we might have blocked it just to deal with it. But if they didn't have a creature follow-up, then they're in a sticky position for sure. Now, they could just have a Shatter this guy, but in a creature deck, I usually don't expect that. That's okay. And I was wrong. Fair enough. Let's go ahead and scry. Don't need that. Let's go ahead and scry again. Gutterbones. No, I don't think we want that either. We're really looking for some big threat here for sure. Kroxa is a pretty good big threat. Let's go ahead and do that now. Get rid of a card in their hand, and then get this bad boy in the graveyard for next turn. Depending on what they do, though, it might be more beneficial to play out the Woe Strider if we can get another land. So it's very dependent there. They did toss a land. We'll go ahead and bring this back to our hand just because we've got the mana to do it. That's the great thing about Gutterbones. You find yourself in positions where it's just mana efficient to be able to pull it back. So why not? Really interesting deck that this opponent has here. It's like a very weird cross between Azorius Control and like the life gain style deck. Normally that's a very weird combo, so I don't really think that that's ideal, I'll say. But that being said, I certainly, I've been wrong many times before, so I certainly don't want to imply that I know everything about that, which I certainly don't. Let's go ahead and do this, actually. And then we'll throw out the Gutterbones. Get rid of that. Get ourselves a 2/2. And then we'll throw out Gutterbones. This is just a way to threaten Teferi. They can bounce any one of these permanents, and next turn we can swing in and kill it. So, and if they play a creature that is CMC 3 or less, which is fairly likely given their mana right now, we can claim and then swing back at Teferi as well. So we've got some options here. Sure, makes sense. Get rid of the token. My hope is that we don't get them to Dream Trawler mana, which they're only one away, and that's definitely a scary thought. But we'll see. They're not doing a ton at the moment, though. I mean, Teferi's great and all, but like, it doesn't really shut down our deck. It just stalls a bit, which is certainly annoying, but not the worst thing in the world. We'll get rid of that. Okay, so I don't think we need to care as much about the Teferi here. They can only plus it. We want to get them down as far as they possibly can. So I'm going to swing in here first. So the question becomes, do we Kroxa from the graveyard or do we Kroxa here? They could have a counter, in which case this would definitely be the better option. This is a bit tricky, but I'm going to try this. This way we have a backup Mire Triton, if we'd like to play that. Get them down to 2. And get rid of a card in hand, which is nice. Considering they've got the control elements, that's why I'm trying to play around a counter here. Normally, I would of course go for the Kroxa in the graveyard, but I certainly don't think that's the easiest thing to do in this position. So I'm going to get this, see if they got the counter. They would probably counter that just because it's the most efficient time to. We will see. This is a very, very tricky one. If they've got a land and a Dream Trawler, we're in bad shape here. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff out, but like,
don't worry, I got this.
Archon. Archon's a problem. Don't really want either of these. So if we do this, depending on what they discard, they could lose the game here. Because what they gain 3, get back up to 6. No, they can't lose the game here yet. They're close, but they're not quite there. Wow, Kiora Best the Sea God is the option. Interesting. I want to keep this from bouncing anything. Don't care if it's dead or not, just need to keep it from bouncing stuff. They're going to gain the 3 life off of this, obviously, which isn't great, but
No more game.
and that may have been incorrect. I'm not 100% sure. It's a good one. It's a very, very good one. Though it does give us more to swing in at them with, to be very fair. Solely because we have Claim, by the way. We can steal Daxos and the token. In which case this loses its creature side, and then we get to swing in for quite a bit. Yep, they gain their 5. What are they going to put the counter on? Please choose like this token. Oh, you are the best. If they have a counter, they're going to need to counter. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Really dependent on that last card. Sweet. Guys, we 3-0'd with this Rakdos list. That's awesome. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. This one was really, really good. I think we played fairly well with this one, considering we have not played with the deck before. Still some learning experiences to be had, and I certainly think that there is some card opportunity to kind of swap out here, some flex slots. So we'll see that hopefully in the next video where we get to play a little bit more with the deck. We didn't get to play with every single card, so we don't know what exactly they're going to hold for us. So regardless, though, I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please make sure to show your support, like, comment, subscribe. If you are not already, we do release gameplay videos very, very regularly. And given the fact that we've got this COVID-19 thing going on, we haven't been doing our podcast, but normally we will have a podcast episode at least every other week. So we really do appreciate the support from you guys. Thank you so much. And as always, I will see you in the next gameplay video.